Let me guess, you're not gone. You're just done. Done explaining yourself. Done shrinking to fit in. Done being the strong, silent type around people who only notice you when you leave. If that hits you in the chest, stick around. Because this video isn't for everyone. It's not for the crowd. It's not for the loud ones. It's for the man who quietly outgrew the room and vanished, not out of fear, but out of power. This is the real reason Sigma males disappear. And if you've ever felt yourself slipping away from the world you once thought you belonged to, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Oh, and by the way, I've got something very special for you. Sigma's Black Book of Untouchable Power. It's an e-book that contains the forbidden secret knowledge that will turn you into the man others fear and respect. Warning, this will be deleted soon. The elite don't want you to see this. Grab it in the description section or pinned comment below. Let's begin. 1. They've seen behind the curtain, and it changed everything. Sigma males vanish not because they're lost, but because they finally see what others still deny. See, most people are stuck in loops. Social loops, validation loops, drama loops. But the Sigma? He watches the whole play unfold from the back row. And once he realizes most of it is fake, noisy, and built on shallow illusions, he simply checks out. He doesn't disappear out of fear. He disappears out of clarity. He's seen the cliques that call themselves friendships, but fall apart when you stop entertaining them. He's noticed how people only show up when they need something, how loyalty is a word people love to speak but hate to practice. He's watched the same conversations repeat over drinks, full of empty advice and recycled complaints. So he stops talking, stops explaining himself, stops showing up to places where he's never really seen anyway. And when he finally goes quiet, people say, "Where did he go? What happened to him?" He changed. But here's the truth. He didn't change. He just woke up. And waking up in a world full of masks makes you want to leave the party early. 2. They get tired of giving what no one else understands. The Sigma male often gives something most people don't even know how to receive: realness. He doesn't sugarcoat things, doesn't fake laughs, doesn't dress up his soul to fit someone else's expectation. He shows up with substance, not noise, with honesty, not flattery. And what does he get in return? Blank stares, accusations of being too cold, too intense, or too serious. People confusing his silence with arrogance, never realizing silence is where his wisdom lives. Eventually, the Sigma reaches a breaking point, not out of weakness, but out of emotional exhaustion. You can't keep pouring water into cups with holes in them. So he stops trying to connect with people who don't speak his language, stops waiting for others to match his depth, stops explaining what doesn't need to be explained, and that's when the vanishing begins. Because it's not a tantrum, it's not an ego trip, it's not even loneliness, it's just peace, chosen peace. He'd rather be alone with his thoughts than in a room where he has to shrink them. He doesn't need applause, he needs alignment, and when he doesn't find it in his environment, he vanishes, not to run away from life, but to return to his. 3. They outgrow the noise faster than anyone around them. Most people fear change. Sigma males, they crave it. They're not afraid to reinvent themselves, not afraid to walk away from places they've outgrown, and they're definitely not afraid to leave people behind who no longer reflect their values. The reason they vanish is simple. They evolve faster than most people are willing to. They start noticing the habits that used to comfort them are now slowing them down. They begin realizing the same jokes, the same parties, the same gossip. It all tastes bland now. And instead of pretending to still be interested just to fit in, they go dark. Not to ghost anyone, but to grow without interruption. Their evolution is silent, private, unapologetic. People get uncomfortable when a man outgrows his past because it forces them to confront their own stagnation. So they'll call him distant, cold, disconnected. But in reality, he's just done with conversations that don't evolve, with people who don't listen, and with routines that don't build him. He vanishes because he's building something the world can't see yet, and you better believe, when he returns, If he ever does, he won't be the same, because the Sigma doesn't vanish to be missed. 4. They refuse to be put in a cage, even a comfortable one. Most men are taught to chase comfort, a nice job, a quiet relationship, a predictable life. But Sigma males are allergic to cages, no matter how padded they are. You can offer them money, recognition, even status. But the moment it starts feeling like control, they vanish. Because here's the part no one tells you. Even gold-plated handcuffs are still handcuffs. Sigmas don't vanish because life gets too hard. They vanish because the world keeps trying to put a leash on them. The 9-to-5 routine that drains the soul, the social obligations that come with invisible contracts, the relationships that start feeling more like ownership than connection. The Sigma sees it all coming before it arrives. He senses when he's being tamed slowly, like a wild animal being fed until it forgets how to hunt. He senses when the freedom starts slipping away, one compromise at a time. And that's when he does what he's always done. He walks. No drama, no speeches. Just silence and a trail of confusion behind him. People say he's afraid of commitment, but they've misunderstood the entire story. He's not afraid of commitment, he's afraid of losing himself in the wrong one. A Sigma male would rather rebuild from zero than stay in a situation that shackles his spirit. He doesn't vanish because he's broken. He vanishes because he knows the world is always trying to domesticate wild minds, and he refuses to be tamed. 5. Because disappearing is the ultimate power move. When most men feel ignored or misunderstood, they get louder. Not the Sigma. He withdraws. He doesn't argue, doesn't beg, doesn't try to prove his worth to people who don't recognize it on their own. And that silence, that distance, it's not weakness, it's a message. A Sigma male's disappearance is louder than 1,000 words. It says, I see how little you valued me. I won't explain myself anymore. I'm not playing this game. That vanishing act, that's not an exit, it's an ascension. It's him choosing himself, choosing his peace, choosing the mountain over the crowd. Because when the Sigma walks away, he doesn't slam the door. He disappears so completely that people start to wonder if he ever existed. And that uncertainty, that mystery, it haunts the ones who took him for granted. He's not playing hard to get. He's just gone, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And once he's gone, there's no version of him that comes back the same. So if you've ever wondered why Sigma males vanish, it's not out of weakness, it's not out of pride. It's because they've realized that sometimes the loudest thing you can do is leave quietly. The truth is, the Sigma doesn't vanish to be missed. He vanishes to be reborn, more focused, more dangerous, more himself than ever before. You don't need permission to choose yourself. You don't owe anyone an explanation for walking away from noise that doesn't match your peace. And if you've ever vanished without warning, not because you were weak, but because the old version of you didn't belong anymore, drop the word ghosted in the comments. Let the real ones find each other in the shadows. And if this hit home, you already know what to do. Subscribe to the channel and join the quiet rebellion. No fluff, no filters, just truth, like you've always deserved. We don't need many, just one who understands you're not alone. You're just ahead.